2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, I'm recording from now on.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Thinking about doing up my flat because I'm renovating a flat at the moment with my missus. Yeah, just thinking about life, getting just what I'm doing with the future basically. That's about it.
It's a nice sunny day, blue sky above us. We're actually sat on Blackfriars Bridge, so we're actually above the River Thames. You've picked one of these little sort of seated areas by the side. Are you taking a break from work, or is this just like a walk in the morning?
No, this is work.
This is work.
I'm doing traffic management with the street works that's going on here, but right now not a lot is going on. So yeah, this is work basically.
Nice. Well, could be a worse place for it.
Yeah.
The flat that you're doing up with your missus, have you got big plans, or are we talking about small stuff?
No, we've done everything. We've sanded the original wooden floorboards. We hired out a big floor sander. Yeah, everything. We're doing the bar. We've done up the bathroom. We've done up the kitchen. I done the last coat of varnish on the living room floor last night because the sofa's come in today now, pretty much.
Oh, that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, so
You put the last varnish on last night,
yeah,
and it's definitely dry.
yeah. And I'm doing like 7 to 7 here, so I'm doing stuff when I get home from 7 to about 1 in the morning, and then I'm waking up at about 5 and coming back here.
God, you're pushing it.
It's alright. It's only for a little while until it's done, I guess.
Well, that's nice. It's nice that you've got something that you're aiming for, but it's a lot of energy to do 7 to 7 and then get back and do the flat. If you didn't have that going on, how would you spend your time when you're not at work?
I like reading, but I like working out, go for runs. If the weather's good, I like being outside, so I'll just go to the park. Yeah. That's most of like hobby stuff, I guess.
What kind of books are we talking about? Like thrillers? Are we talking about big philosophy books?
Yeah, so like self-help, philosophy, psychology kind of books. Like Malcolm Gladwell or Robert Kiyosaki. Right now I'm reading Ashley Walter's Always Winning. But it's a bit of an autobiography, but it's also like a stoic mindset kind of book. I read it when I'm sitting here, to be honest.
The thing about an autobiography, people are writing an autobiography kind of to put themselves in a good light, in a way, aren't they? I mean, I don't know, if you or I wrote an autobiography, we'd probably cut out the bits where we don't look very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like this book doesn't do that though, the Ashley Walter's book. Like, I've only read like the first 40 pages, I only started reading it yesterday. But yeah, he's already said some stuff that maybe some people won't like him for, basically. But
such as, give us an example.
That when he first started becoming like famous or gaining money, he felt like he started treating people badly and thinking he was better than people and speaking down to people, and he said that's how he was for a while
That's very honest.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, yeah, so it's a good start to the book. It's like, seems quite honest, and yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder why that change happened. Does he explain yet why he started doing that? Why he changed?
Why he changed?
Like why he started talking down to people, and why that was within him.
I think because he said that he had his dad. He kind of had resentment for his dad growing up, and he was always reliant on his mum, but it's like it was the first time where he had money basically, and he didn't need anyone, and he used to always look up to his dad, even though his dad was a real unstable kind of character, but his mum still let him have a relationship with his dad to kind of figure that out for himself, and eventually he did, and he thought his dad was just full of crap basically, in terms of how he used to there's a few incidents where he talked about in the book, like his dad would be getting chased by the police and he had him in the car seat, or he would be staying at his dad's house and his dad would sneak at when he's sleeping, and he'll wake up at 5 in the morning. He ended up wandering into the street looking for his dad, and his dad's gone like clubbing, didn't tell him. Police ended up stopping him in his pajamas, barefoot, taking him home. Anyway, incidences like that.
So it was a kind of like the veil fell from his eyes and he saw his dad and his true self, and that kind of destroyed the hero worship. Is that the sort of dynamic? He
does say that his dad was his hero, but after when he started growing up and realizing certain things, it's like when he first had money, he was kind of like, you can't tell me anything because you didn't do anything for me. But then now he does say that's not where he is now, but he was there. That's how his mindset was for a while. Now he's grown and he knows that he was just a human and people are flawed and people are complex, and it's not that simple as his dad was this or his dad was that.
It's really difficult though to think objectively about our parents. We're also, our mum and dad are our mum and dad, and I think it must be. I know some of my friends who've had kind of similar kind of experiences where they suddenly change their opinion of their parents, but it's difficult because they're so solid, your parents, in your life. They're kind of like, you can't judge them other than, I don't know. I mean, do you feel that you can judge or think about your parents, apart from being mum and dad, think about them as being people in their own right, or is it not possible as a child, no matter how old you are?
It's definitely possible. I mean, it's going to be a journey to get there, because naturally you're thinking about them as your parents. You're thinking about them as your relationship with them. So I guess as you grow in life as a person, depending on where you get to as a person, mentally, your mindset, then you should be able to get to a place where you understand and think objectively and can understand that, they've had their own lives, they had their own dreams, they had their own mistakes, they had their own whatever, and it's not all about them being your parents, basically.
How's your relationship with your parents? Is it a simple one? Is it a complex one?
It's quite a complex one.
I don't know. Is it? Yeah. Are they still part of your life? Are they still kind of like on the phone, Sunday meals, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I still see my dad almost every other day. Luckily, it's like I live quite close to most of my family, especially my nan. My nan lives like 5 minutes away from me, and then my mum's maybe like 20 minutes away from me. My dad's maybe like 15 minutes in another direction away from me.
That's pretty good. You're lucky there.
Yeah, so it's not too difficult to like maintain the contact.
Or unlucky.
Well, no, it's pretty. The relationships right now are pretty good, but they've definitely been complex over the years.
So they've been through a few ups and downs. I think that's kind of normal. I don't think many people have a simple road.
Yeah.
What about with your nan? Because kind of grandparents sometimes are like the most solid things in your life. Has your nan been solid? Has she always been like super supportive?
Yeah.
Super cool?
Yeah, she's always been the one that it's just judgment-free zone, no matter what. You know that you can go to nan's and it's like, it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter. Like really, anything goes. Like nan just loves you. That's it. She's just happy to have you there, happy to have your company. She's funny. She'll tell you 100 stories until you don't want to listen because she won't get tired of talking. And yeah, nan's always been spot on, man.
I wonder how maybe you or I will be grandparents one day, maybe we'll have grandchildren. I wonder how easily we'll fit into that role of super cool grandparents, because it is kind of something that only grandparents have.
I think it's because they can just do the really nice stuff and they don't really have to do any of the like difficult parenting part. So you never really see them in a bad light, or because I'm sure their children would have had complex relationships with them. But with your grandchild, you're just like the nicest person, and that's it.
So you're working here, you've got on orange overalls, you're here 7 to 7. It's an outdoor job. Is it an outdoor job?
Yeah, it's an outdoor job.
How long have you been doing it?
This particular traffic management, not long, maybe like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just usually there's traffic lights at the site, so it might be there's a bit more to do, but right now the site's basically half finished, so half of it's being cleared, there's only half of it left, so not much is going on. The actual next bit of work is not actually going to start till Monday, so the next few days literally we'll be sat here most of the time.
What's the job like?
The job is long and boring, and the pay's alright, and that's about it. It'll do for now.
Have you done better jobs? Have you done worse jobs?
Qualified electrician, it's probably a better job, but ultimately this is just to bring in some income at the moment. But I'm working on being a trader full time, which is like a financial analyst.
Okay, all right. So hold on, you're a Sparky.
Yeah.
You're working as traffic management,
Yeah.
but you're going to be a financial trader.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you become a trader?
So I've known how to trade for quite a while. I'm really good at trading. I can trade.
Oh right, so you're already doing it.
Yeah.
So you kind of like have learned it in your own spare time.
Yeah. So I've learned it through various online this and that, and trial and error mostly. Go on.
I was going to say, do you like do it with really small pots of money? Do you do it like with 100 quid and see what happens? Do you do it with like 50 quid? Is that how it works?
Okay, so when I first started, this was maybe like 10 years ago, something like that, 15 years ago almost. But
How old were you?
So I was like maybe 19 or 20. I'm 29 now.
Okay.
So back then, when you started trying to trade, even if you was a really good trader, if you didn't have the capital, you're never going to make a lot of money, because you needed the capital to make a lot of money. Otherwise, you'd be taking crazy risk, and eventually you'll probably lose your money. So so when I was learning, it was a lot of trial and error, putting little bits of real money in just to get to grips with stuff, losing money.
So just understanding the dynamics.
Yeah. But then when COVID happened, the whole trading landscape changed. So all these proprietary firms, like traditional proprietary firms, is when you have private capital and just like a small bunch of traders will trade with that firm's private capital. But since COVID, there's just a massive boom of firms online that will provide capital to traders. So instead of
no way. So there's actually little pots you can dip into.
Yeah. So instead of a proprietary firm having 10 traders, they might have 100 now online. It's just that to get the capital, you have to get a demo. So let's say you want 100 grand in capital, you would pay like £500 for that account. That's your entire risk, that £500.
That's mad.
So if you lose more, so you'll have basically an exam, which is it's the real markets. It's just the money's not real. So you would make 10% on that account, phase one. Once you've done that, then you'll make 5% on that account, and then they'll give you the real money.
Right, so you've got to go through a few gates,
Yeah.
and then they're like, you can do it, we'll trust you.
Yeah.
Right.
So once you get that capital now, once you pass the 2 exams, now you can lose the exams. If you lose more than 10% of the account, you lose the exams, and that's it. If you want to have a try, you have to pay the 500 again. So that's like part of their business model where...
So that's a risk for you already.
Yeah.
So.
But that's your only risk, that what you pay for the account, because apart from that, you're never risking your money.
Right.
So, but that's part of their business model, because a lot of people will try and just fail and try and never really learn how to do it. But there's probably like a couple hundred of these firms. So you can, and some of them have like maybe max capital that you can get with them is up to like 300k, 200k.
That's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, so you can easily build up capital through them to like say $1 million in capital or whatever. And the profit share, when you actually, so let's say you pass your exams with them, you've got the real money, and now you're actually trading on live markets with them. The standard industry profit split, some are higher, is 80-20 to you.
Just explain that. 80-20 means you get 20%, they get 80%?
No, we get 80%, they get 20%.
No way.
Yeah, that's the industry standard. So
That's a lot.
So you make 20 grand, they take 2, you keep and you can and you address the pay. You once you've made that, let's say you've made that this week, you request a payout, they'll pay it in your bank, and that's it. And the only way you lose that capital is if you lose 10%, then you blow that account, you would have to do the exams again or whatever. So as long as you can manage your risk and you actually know how to trade now, capital is not a problem. Whereas when I started trading, capital was the main problem.
That's astonishing. Do you know what? I never even knew it worked like that. So I didn't realise that you could go on to the market and also as an amateur, but also I didn't realise that you could make such good profits. What's your driving force for being, what is it, a financial trader, a market trader? How would you describe what you're aiming for?
What I'm aiming for, as in
what's it called? Is it a market trader?
So it's like a forex. So what I trade, so you could trade with them, with these firms. You could trade stocks, you could trade currencies, you could trade multiple different things. But me personally, I'll trade forex, which is foreign exchange. So I'll trade like currency pairs. So it's like euro against USD or CAD against USD or whatever it is.
So if you're trading currency markets, I'm just assuming that's quite a complex market, but because there's continuous change and you're dealing with changing values in a market with many different currencies.
So
forgive my ignorance, I don't know what I'm talking about.
So it's mainly technical is what I'm trading on. So it's mainly chart patterns and it's mainly technical analysis is what I'm trading on. So it's chart patterns, it's supply and demand on the chart, but you need a basic understanding of fundamentals to have a bias on your direction. So it's like maybe like when Trump first got elected, for instance, everybody was dollar bulls, so we knew that the dollar is very strong, so you would want to sell Euro USD because the dollar is stronger. That makes sense.
So there was a bounce for the US dollar.
Yeah, because everyone's thinking Trump's pro-business and etc. etc. But now he's actually in power and he's doing all these tariffs and there's so much uncertainty. Everybody's dollar bears. So right now, you would rather
call it dollar bears.
A dollar bear, which means they'll bet against the dollar.
Right.
Dollar weakness. So it's like you have to have you don't have to have the biggest understanding of monetary policy and understand like every announcement or anything like that, but you just want a general view of like the two economies with the currencies that you're trading, just so you have a strong bias. Then
so you stick with two currencies. You don't do the whole world.
No, so it's better to focus on maybe like a couple. The currencies come in with currency pairs, so it's like you have to trade one currency against another. So I'll trade mainly Euro USD, that's one currency pair. Then I'll trade GBP USD, that's another currency pair. But I'll mainly stick with them two. When you want to focus and know like your currency pairs, and each currency pair has slightly different characteristics, so it's not good to be spreading yourself too openly. I trade gold a bit now and again, but it's quite volatile. So
you said that it's kind of charts, it's understanding a kind of like a pattern. Is it a bit like the film The Matrix? Can you just see the Matrix? After a little while you get it and you understand the patterns and you can feel it. Is it that? Is it like
after some time on the charts, you can definitely, there's stuff that you'll just see. Like I can look at a chart now and I can just see. I can see supply and demand. I can see the breaks of structure. You can see market structure. You can see certain things that, obviously, when you first look at these screens, it just looks like what's going on.
Yeah, it looks
it's
like
really
a foreign
not.
language.
Yeah, but it's really not. It's just like you wouldn't know until you learn it. Do you know what I mean? But so a lot of it is quite simple. A lot technical analysis most people can learn is it gets harder when it's psychology, when it's your real money and you're waiting 2 days for a trade and then it's a loss. And then you're chasing psychology. That's probably the hardest part more than anything else.
That's complex. It's a complex world. You said that you don't have to really look at. You don't have to look at too many outside variables. But I remember talking to a financial trader some years ago, and he said everything affects the market: politics, culture, world events. It all feeds in continuously. So, do you take a bit more notice of the news, for instance, because that might affect the market, or can you kind of avoid being a political, expert?
Yeah, so you want some insight, but you don't have to follow it tightly and really understand every point, every data point released, or everything that's going on in Parliament, or every piece of policy. You just want to have a general sense of what's going on, especially for someone like me, because I'm trading intraday, which means most times I'm in a trade and out by the end of the day. So
Right, so at the end of the day, you close the books and it doesn't carry on through the night. You finished.
Yeah, most of the time. There's the odd time where I might hold a trade over a few days, but it's very unlikely I'm gonna hold a trade for like weeks or months. That when you're trading like long term, as in like swing traders, that's when you got to be more aware of like big policies and etc. etc. You have to be more in tune with it. Me, I'm in and out with a day, so sometimes it's not as important.
What about the emotions? Because I'm just assuming that some days are big days and you're just waiting over the keyboard to hit the button at the right moment to make the maximum profit and have a huge amount of excitement. Is that what it is, or is it not like that?
Nah, you want to try to get rid of excitement as much as you want to try
Really?
get rid of the depression when you lose trades. So it's trying to just keep neutral, and when you win, don't get too happy, and when you lose, don't get too sad, and focus on your statistics and know that if you stick to your strategy, your statistics will play out.
Okay, so you've got to keep calm. You've got to be a bit zen about it all.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're doing it. I mean, there must be a lot of excitement, because you must sometimes look at the chart and immediately your pulse goes racing, because you're like, I can see an in there. I can see something's going to happen. Something's cooking up, and I can feed off this.
I mean, I love when I see exactly the setup that I want to see and exactly what I want to see on the charts. But I try not to get ahead of myself, because I know that I've seen that before and then don't play out.
Now that you've been doing it for like a decade, do you know like the outside parameters? Is there anything that can really shock you anymore, or does that experience of like, I know how far it can go one way, how far, I know all the experience I've got, and actually I'm pretty unshockable now. I know the market. Is there a time when you can go that, you know, I have the knowledge like that, or is it never that knowable?
I mean, it'll be kind of ignorant for me to think that I could never see something that I haven't seen before, because like when there's one-off events. But I just know that if certain things are going on like geopolitically, then I'll just stay out of the markets. But I'll watch the markets just to see what happens in certain.
So if there's a war starts somewhere, and so you're saying that you kind of like leave the markets alone if everything's a bit too unstable.
Yeah, when there's the biggest even when there's like the biggest news releases, like if there's a GDP release or CPI or whatever, I just don't trade.
What are they? Are they financial?
Yeah,
something?
They're like the main, like interest rates, just the main financial data points that are released every month or every year. I just don't trade at that time, because the markets get really, really volatile, and if you're small traders like me or whoever, you just gotta end up liquidity for like big players. So yeah, just when there's like a lot of volatility, you can capitalize sometimes, but sometimes if you don't really know what's going on, you just stay out of it. It's the best thing to do. You can try it, because there is gonna be a time where you play around when a lot is going on, or there's a war's just started, and you'll make a lot of money. And there's another time it's just gonna blow your account. So
it's very up and down.
Yeah.
You were a Sparky, you're doing the traffic management now, but you're also on the markets continuously. Are you yet making a lot of money, or is this a future thing that you're going to make a lot of money?
So I'm not making a lot of money now. I'm building the capital with these prop firms right now. That's my main focus.
What does that mean, building the capital?
So you know how I said that you can get capital from these proprietary firms online? Yeah. So I'm just getting capital from one firm. Let's say I'll get 100 grand from that firm. I'll do the 2 challenges, and cool, I've got 100 grand down there. So I'm trying to build it up to about $1 million, and then when I've got that, that's going to take me.
But that's not your million, that's their million.
That's their million. But when I'm trading that, obviously the profits, 80% of the profits will be mine. So right now,
so do you put them all together?
Yeah, you put them
so all
together.
The different companies that you've passed the exam, and you put it all into one basket.
You can have a master account, and it will control all of them. So you take a trade on one account, and it will execute on all your accounts.
That's a huge responsibility.
It is.
I'd get nervous. I'd get sweaty palms doing that.
Yeah. So I made a bit previously. But yeah, now
Did you take it out, or did you leave it in?
No, I took it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what paid for the varnish and the sanding.
Yeah, so I've made a bit previously, But right now, over the next 18 months, I'm just focusing on building up a significant amount of capital with these firms, and then I'm going to do that full time.
Brilliant. Travis, you've got a bright future ahead of you. Is it guaranteed that it's going in one direction?
I like to think so. It's pretty guaranteed. I mean, I'm focused. I'm doing what I've got to do every day, so there's no reason why not. Yeah. If it doesn't, then it's probably be my fault, to be honest.
And you got the electrical work to fall back on if it all goes wrong?
Yeah, I've got a couple other things that, in the meantime, and need be, if I just need money for like life, then I'll do that. But trading is the main focus. That is like the main goal to actually, change life.
I like the idea that you're giving yourself the tools to actually change your life and have control over that change. Because most of us dream of it, and most of us think, if I win the lottery, or most of us are like, if something amazing happens. But you're kind of putting the pieces in place to actually do it and achieve it.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think so. I just think that loads of people have potential and then they just don't end up fulfilling it for whatever reason, and it's just how many stories go. And to be honest, a lot of the time it's just because, I don't know, people stop trying, or they just gave up, or thought for some reason they put some type of barrier on themselves and thought, I can't do that, or not anymore, or I'm too old now, or if I was younger, or whatever, or because I've got kids, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So I just think you gotta keep fighting for the life you want. Yeah.
To have the mindset you've got, going back to family, going back to growing up, going back to childhood, you've got a confidence in yourself. You've been given that confidence through your family, through your life experience. Would you say that you've always had this ability to be determined and know that you can make it right from back in the day?
I don't know. Probably not always, but I guess life experiences, and you grow and develop your mindset, and yeah, I think I've just got to here as life's gone on, but I don't think I've always been crazy driven.
The fact that you're reading the books, which are kind of talking about the big ideas, the philosophical books and stuff, so shows that you're also you're kind of happy to search, you're happy to be open to ideas, you're interested in ideas.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's times where I used to read and then I stopped reading for a while, and it's kind of like you have to keep like feeding that part of your brain that is like maybe not necessarily motivated, but it's just getting that healthy content where whatever you're watching, whatever you're consuming is on the same wavelength mindset where you're trying to be at, wherever it's about, mindset, or you just need to keep reading or keep, watching good content, or you can't decide, I've read enough, so I'm gonna stop. Like, you need to keep searching for stuff that like feed that kind of part of your brain, otherwise you'll just fall off, kind of thing. Yeah.
Something I wanted to ask you, just thinking back, when you started the trading, you were kind of 19, you said.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's a lot of confidence and the arrogance of youth at that point, and did you do moves and make mistakes in a way that you wouldn't now because of your youth, because of the confidence of youth and kind of going, I'm invincible?
100%, man. It got dark, man. It got dark.
Oh my lord.
Like, It's like, yeah, you made a bit of money, you thought you had it all sus now, and then you just lost it all, and you're depressed, and then you've done it again, and then you tried like every shortcut there was. You tried,
Of course, the shortcuts.
yeah, you tried. Oh, you thought you found the golden nugget here,
Yeah,
and oh my gosh, and then you just everything you fit. It's like 1 minute you're flying, and then the next minute you're dying, and 1 minute you're flying, and it's like you're trying every shortcut, and you just realize after 5 years that these shortcuts are not quite short, and that I probably should just do it properly, because otherwise it's just never gonna happen. So yeah, I've gone through everything. I've gone through like all the mistakes in trading, and I've had to work on mindset where I started meditating. You know, I go for runs, go for walks. I just had to do so much different things to like get my mindset right, and like I was mad. I was very impulsive at times, like on the charts. I used to get so impulsive, and yeah, I just had to do a lot of things to work on that, and just certain traits.
But I'm assuming that those mistakes, the flying and the dying,
Yeah.
is part of what's brought you to where you are now. You had to make those mistakes at the beginning, otherwise you wouldn't have learned the story. You wouldn't have learned the lessons.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, you have to make the mistakes. I think that's just life. Even when you know everybody's telling you that you should do this and you should do that and don't do this, until you make the mistakes for yourself, sometimes you just never learn, man. Just never learn. Sometimes you even make the same mistakes more than once, and then you just keep making them unless you learn from them. So eventually you either learn from them or you just won't progress.